Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this is the first time me talking to you as a full-time professional photographer. Now I've been a photographer for over 25 years in one way or another, but for the last 15 years I've always had a full-time day job, and I'm sure there's a lot of you in that position right now. And I was about to leave my day job to do photography full-time just as COVID hit, so I didn't leave for obvious reasons. Then I found myself getting back into that old routine of working a day job and my evenings and weekends doing the photography, and I just didn't have much time to do anything else. It's crazy to think that until about 18 months ago nobody had even heard of me as a photographer, and there's a whole backstory as to why that is and how I turned that around in less than a year, really. Not just as a business, but my actual photography went from just okay to something that I was proud of, and I started to get noticed, win awards, feature in magazines and get hired. And now I get so many messages from other photographers saying that my work is inspiring them. Doing the online workshops with people has become something that I love to do. I just love it so much. Just speaking to other photographers and helping them has become something that I look forward to, and I get really excited about it. By the way, I've nearly done the last batch of those workshops, so send me a message if you want booked into the next batch of online one-to-one workshops. Now, as a part of my turnaround, but not all, was something to do with the kit I was using. So basically, I used to use, like really kind of metal cameras, what cameras that I loved, the film cameras. And when I moved to digital photography, I just didn't like the feel of the cameras. I didn't like how they looked. Gone were the days of these robust metal cameras that, that just felt right. And look, maybe it's just because they didn't feel like the cameras that my dad let me use when I was just a boy, the ones that I was used to. I don't know what it was, but I no longer somehow felt like an artist, and I felt just like everybody else using the same hard plastic DSLRs, and that had still not managed to equal film at that point. Now you'll hear it time and time again, kit doesn't matter. I can't disagree more with that. I would say kit does matter. I totally get it. It's the photographer, and great images can be shot on a smartphone. Yes, they totally can. And if that's the kit that feels right for you, then that's what you should use. But it's still kit, and it matters because it matters to you. A great set of golf clubs doesn't make you a great golfer. I've heard that one before. I understand all of that. Look, for me, as an example, I look at using a smartphone as a camera a bit like having a home gym. It works for some people, but for me, the fact that it's not separate from other parts of my life would mean that home gym never would get used. There's too many distractions there, whereas if I'm going to a gym, I'm going to work out if I go to a gym. And it's the same with a camera. It's a tool for photography. Go out with your camera and you're in a different frame of mind, a frame of mind to take photographs and to make art. Go out with a smartphone and that's not even a decision. You'd be doing that even if you weren't going out and doing photography. So that is kit. Smartphone is kit that is capable of producing photography. And if I was to be using a smartphone rather than a camera, I wouldn't be producing the work that I am. I may not be producing work full stop. Now I say that there wasn't a camera that I loved since film. I did really like the X100 series, Fuji X100 series and the X Pro series, but the camera that I loved from day one coincided with this turnaround for me as a photographer, and it was the Leica Q2 Monochrom. As you know, I'm always going on about it, and it was like the perfect storm for me. At last I'd found a camera that could produce those monochrome tones that I wanted, And now more recently, I'm also using a Leica SL for my colour work. And I'll talk about that camera another time. But I'm 18 months now into using the Q2 Monochrom. And it's gone from that initial love affair to this beautiful, stable relationship as I've got to know the camera better. You see, I think you have to enjoy the kit you're using, because you'll use it more, because you can't wait to pick it up again. The Leica cameras, they're robust, they're enjoyable, but they also get out of the way so that you can concentrate on the photography itself. Anybody that uses a Leica camera knows what I'm talking about here. It is a feeling as well as a look. And now I'm doing photography full time. I want to enjoy it. And the Q2 Monochrom and the SL allow me to do that. If it's a Sony or a Canon or a Nikon that you enjoy using, then that does matter. Pretty much all cameras these days are capable of producing stunning images. For me, I need to love that process. I need to love holding the camera, because that's what I remembered from the days of shooting film. Look, as usual, I don't want these videos to be all about me talking away, especially about kit. So I'm going to be showing you some photography. What I just wanted to show you an example of was to do with what I'm talking about, is enjoying the kit you're using. Is I've been to a couple of social events recently, and if I wasn't using a camera that I really wanted to use, there's no way that I'd be taking a camera to these social events. The other weekend, I knew I was doing some photography in Liverpool, and my friends had just opened a French épicerie. I can never pronounce that. So I said I'd go and we'd have some fun, and I'd shoot some images for their website and their social media. But I didn't stop there, because it was for fun. Anyway, if I'm going to do work for other people, no matter what photography it is, I'm always shooting for me too. So I stayed and I ate great food and fine wines, and I got to know other people there as well, and I shot their portraits, and while we all enjoyed each other's company, I snapped away everything that was going on. The following weekend, I went to an Oktoberfest shindig thing, and I took my camera to that and captured everything that was going on there also. And this is what it's all about for me, is enjoying everything about photography. It's a social thing for me also. It doesn't have to be just a shoot. I love to enjoy the whole experience. So I'll leave you with a bunch of images shot on my two favourite cameras, mainly the Q2 Monochrom, but also the Leica SL. Before I do that, I just want to let you know that I've been asked by a number of people if I would do some face-to-face workshops as well. So I've started to book some of those in before I've even advertised them on here or said anything about them. So these are going to be one-to-one again. If you're available and can travel to Liverpool between any day between the 7th and the 13th of November, then give me a shout on Instagram and I'll book you one of those days in. I'm also in London between the 5th and the 11th of December. Now these will be photo walks and talks and looking at street photography and street portraits. It could be even that you're considering buying a Leica monochrome camera and you want to shoot with mine for the day, or maybe you just want to get the best out of the camera that you've got. All these workshops have always been tailored to each individual person, but give me a shout and I'll save you a day. So I'm going to leave you with these images just to remind you that photography shouldn't be always all really serious, that it should be fun as well.